The United States of America was born in 1789 when the colonies ratified the Constitution into law. It was a good start, and a few generations rolled by, but lots of folks thought it needed improvement. 72 years later, in 1861, our nation split asunder in the Civil War. The end result was emancipation, the abolition of slavery, and a new raft of amendments to the Constitution. And so, for 3 more generations, we see America prosper, until finally, 72 years later, it's 1933, the midst of the Great Depression, and the year the recovery began. We see the rise of the welfare state, and the ballooning federal government adding another batch of amendments to the Constitution. 72 years later brings us to 2005. The Patriot Act, the NSA, the rise of the surveillance state, and the open-ended war on terror. In Russia, in 1917, we have the Russian Revolution and the fall of the Tsars. 72 years later, in 1989, we have Perestroika and the fall of the Berlin Wall. In 1797, the process of uniting the various Germanic states began. 74 years later, in 1871, Bismarck completed the job. 74 years later, in 1945, Hitler was defeated, setting the stage for the European Union. 72 years later will be 2017. What will happen next year? The Brexit is proof positive things are changing right on schedule. Russia just seized a part of Ukraine last year, the first such border change in Europe since World War II. In the Middle East, the borders imposed after World War II are also being erased by the destruction of Syria and the rise of the Islamic State. Is it all coincidence? Correlation is not causation. Seeing the situation in Europe evolve right on schedule is evidence, but not proof. So, I'll try a prediction. The Chinese Revolution of 1949 began 67 years ago. We already see big changes afoot there, as their massive infrastructure building plans wind down and they try to relocate the rural populations into cities. If things go sideways in China on and around 2021, the theory gets stronger. So what does it mean? Probably nothing. Finding patterns is easy if you want to see them. But maybe, just maybe, 72 years is about as long as a system can hope to hold up with the constant pressures of technological advances, increasing population, rising education levels, and countless other factors. If malleability is not woven into a nation's very fabric, catastrophic collapse may become inevitable as the foundations of history on which a system is built shift like sand.